Today I'll be putting together a costume. This costume will be of Rosa from the show Barboskini. This show may also be called the Barkers or the Pooches when shown in English. To put this costume together, I need to get many things. First, I need her shirt, which is a pink turtleneck with a paw print on it. Here I have a pink turtleneck I bought and some fabric to make a paw print with. The fabric is polar fleece and it's a light pink color. I took this fabric and drew half my design onto it. Then I folded it over and then cut it out and pinned it to the shirt. I sewed it and then the shirt was complete. Next, I needed the skirt. Rosa's skirt has a blue and pink pattern on it, so I need fabric like this. I had a hard time finding the pattern I wanted for cheap, so I ended up buying this extra large men's shirt. I cut a big rectangle out of the back. I folded it in half and cut where you see the red line. This gave me 2 pieces of same length fabric. The third piece shown is not cut from the same square. I cut this piece from the front of the shirt and I cut it to the same size as the other 2 pieces. I placed the 2 pieces on top of another and then folded the third piece in half. I took the 2 pieces and drew a slanted line at the end. Then I folded the fabric in half and cut along the line. I unfolded the fabric and sewed it where you see the red lines. Then I flipped the skirt around. I took the third piece from before and cut it in half so I had 2 pieces. These were both cut to match the length of the top of the skirt. I stacked these 2 pieces on another and then sewed along the red lines. Next I put it over the skirt and pinned it down. It's important not to pin the skirt shut and to remember to sew fabrics inside out. I sewed where the pins were and took them out. And then I folded this over and pinned it down and sewed again. At this point the skirt looked a little messy to me because of some extra fabric sticking out, so this was cut off. To make the trim, I cut 4 pieces of white fabric. These pieces were cut to be a little longer than the bottom of the skirt. I took 2 pieces at a time and folded them over. I made the fold at about 3 inches or 7 to 8 centimeters. I flipped this over and folded again, and repeated until there was no more folding to do. When I was done, it looked like this. I drew this half circle and cut the fabric. It's better to do this 2 at a time than with all 4 at once because 4 pieces of fabric can be hard to cut when folded so many times. When unfolded, it should look like this. And if you do these steps twice, you will end up with 4 pieces that look the same. Once again, I took 2 pieces at a time and put them on another. I sewed them together but only at the bottom, not the top. And then I flipped it right side out, and to make it look neat, I ironed the fabric. These past few steps done again will give you 2 of these strips. Next, I finally sewed the top shut. I placed 1 piece on another and sewed at both ends. I sewed the trim I had just made to the skirt, and when flipped over, it looked like this. Now I'm almost all finished. I just needed to add a zipper. I flipped the skirt inside out and drew along the edge. I sewed there and then cut the skirt open at the way end of the skirt. This step should only be done on one side of the skirt, unless you want 2 zippers. I opened the fabric up where I just cut and laid it flat. To make this fold flatter, use a hot iron. I placed the zipper on top. The zipper at this step should be backwards. I switched out the regular sewing foot for a zipper foot to make the sewing easier. Then I sewed down the zipper. When flipped back around, the skirt should look like this. The zipper is sewed shut and can't be used. So I took the seam ripper and opened it up. I am cutting the thread I sewed into the edge of the skirt. I am not cutting the thread I just sewed the zipper in with. Now the zipper is ready to be used, but first I just cleaned up any loose threads. And now, after all that work, I had a working zipper and Rosa's skirt was all finished. If any viewers are planning on making a skirt, cut to your measurements and the length that you want. Add an inch or 2 as some length gets shortened when sewing. For the rest of the outfit, I need her white undershirt, her blue scarf, and some blue canvas shoes. Also some white tights and some blue socks. And now for the next part of the costume, hair and makeup. I got a pink headband and pink hair ties. Also, I used a long blonde wig. My wig doesn't have bangs like Rosa has, so I ordered some blonde bangs online. I made sure to match the colors. The specific color for both pieces is called 613. To attach bangs like this, get your wig or hair and pop open the clips. Then place on wig and pop the clips closed. On my wig, it can be seen that some hair is clipped on, so I covered this part with the headband. This wig should be brushed into pigtails and the pink hair ties are put in. For Rosa's makeup, I need to put on pink eyeshadow, mascara, some brown makeup for her nose, and pink lipstick. Also, since I'm a brunette and have green eyes, I use blonde eyebrow pencil and put in blue contacts. The makeup ended up looking like this. And also, you can see here how the hair turned out. Now I'm all done. The hair, makeup, and outfit are all complete. And here is the complete look. I now look just like Rosa, minus the fur. Here I am. Ромашка, белый лепесток, волосок трошка, воздуха глоток. Ромашка, белые цветы, волосок трошка, где же ты? I like this costume because I like Rosa's hair. Make sure when you have a wig on to brush it well, as wigs tend to shed and tangle a lot. After brushing, this wig looks very nice. It's also very long. I'm very happy I made this costume. It was so fun to wear. Alright, bye-bye.